So the Bhagavad Gita, as it is a very significant scripture. These are the words spoken by Lord Krishna. But not only that, these are the unadulterated words spoken by Lord Krishna. Where in this world do we find anything unadulterated? Everything is mixed with some impurity, whatever it is. And life is a life with filters. You have to just filter it out. Basically, knowledge filters, that's all we have. Experience filters, that's all we have. Filters that we picked up over the years, here and there, a bit in school, in college, and just in life. Filters. It's the real thing. Yeah, sure. You know, rubbish. Anything that can be used to open up nuts and bolts is not really a thing to swallow, is it? If you think about it. No, but it is sold to us. It is sold to us with a lot of conviction. This is it. This is it. And again, everybody is selling us rubbish all over the world. In educational institutions, this is knowledge. Rubbish. You know, this in business, this is first quality. In India, it is yes. For you, no, this is number one for you. I am not making any profit. Yes. You will deliver it tomorrow. Yes. Definitely not. What can we say? Such is the way the world works. A world of lies, a world of illusion. It's become a second nature. Who can even speak the truth? Anyone? I mean, who reads the truth, and the news is rubbish, and everything is rubbish. So a world filled with rubbish. We're living in our own garbage. And then in the middle of that, a transcendentally effulgent Bhagavad Gita, amongst many other Bhagavad Gitas that are rubbish. Because they have been twisted. Like one dentist was saying, yes, Krishna is like the dentist and Arjuna is like the patient. What was it? A commercial, or was it an explanation of the Gita? So in this way, where do we find something of this quality, something of this purity, something authentic like the Bhagavad Gita as it is? So leaving all other so-called Bhagavad Gitas aside, we are turning to the Bhagavad Gita as it is. And we are in the 9th chapter, reading the 2nd verse. Rajavijam Rajaguyam Pavitram Idamuttamam Pratyaksevagamam Dharnyam Susukam Kartamavyayam. This knowledge is the king of education, the most secret of all secrets. It's the purest knowledge. And because it gives direct perception of the self by realization, it is the perfection of religion. It is everlasting, and it is joyfully performed. Rajavijam, the king of all knowledge, the topmost knowledge. The topmost knowledge, for once the truth, no filters required. One can just trust. One can fully trust whatever Srila Prabhupada has spoken. 100%, and it will be beneficial. It will act, it will uplift us, and thus, whatever goes into our consciousness will work there. In the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, it's described that the mind goes into the visayi, the sense objects, and the sense objects go into the mind. So, for example, I can go zoom lens on the camera, and then when I walk away from here, I'm thinking, camera. So the mind is like a camera, recording things, and it stays there. An example, you lock some money away, but not just the money, part of your mind as well. So with that money, you've locked a piece of your mind in the same cupboard or wherever you've locked it, hidden place, in the leg of the bed. Very common place. What can we say? Hidden place. But a piece of our mind is locked there. And in how many things our mind is locked? Is your car okay? Are you sure? Your mind travels to your car. Is it okay? Yes, it's okay. Are you sure? Nothing left in the car. Anyway, don't worry. There will be nothing left when you come back to the car. So, in this way, the mind is locked into so many things, and as a result, Bahu Sakhi Anantascha, the mind is many branched. Little investment here, little investment there, little investment everywhere, and so many threads are coming out of my mind into so many things. Oh, and I have a little space left for Krishna consciousness. Not too much, but I am sincere about it. No, I really love Krishna too much. So I have here a little spot left in my mind for Krishna. And that's it. That's where I practice my Krishna consciousness. It's a little bit like Krishna consciousness with a straitjacket. It is sometimes a bit suffocating, my bhakti, but anyway, what to do? That's where it is, in a small corner of my mind. It's like, it's packed there. It is packed because so many investments in all directions. Let go of all this rubbish. That is Rajavijam. That is the king of education. That is the secret of all secrets. That is ultimately the point. Krishna. Let us spend more time with Krishna. Let us see the priority of Krishna. Let us see the importance of Krishna over everything else. The morning. The early morning. That blessed time, the early morning, that time alone at last. No one is eating away at your mind. Leave your phone alone. No one to intrude. Don't look at the thing. No, make it a rule. Do not touch before chanting japa. Do not touch phone before japa. No. Do not touch, because it will put worms in your brain. That's what phones generally do, put many worms in our brain, and these worms go in and they just like find niches and stay in there, and it's like you're chanting Hare Krishna and then this worm pops up. Another worm pops up. Worms from the phone. So do not open the phone, leave it. No, just peaceful. That wonderful time when we are alone. That's it. And Krishna, as soon as you chant in the Adi Purana, it is said Krishna is close. He's there. He's close. Very close. So yes, it's not just, it's me and this mantra, and the mantra and me. And we are going to try it again. No, Krishna's here now. He's here. He's very close. Right there. Hare Krishna, Krishna. And pull him closer. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare. With each mantra, pull Krishna closer. Bring him closer. Hare Krishna. Krishna, in this way, is very close with us in the early morning when there's nothing else. There we are alive. That is where we belong. The rest of the day, all right, dress up in a costume, go on stage, and Shakespearean drama at work. Yes, sir, hello, sir, of course, yes. Oh, yes, fun, the customer is always right. Definitely, yes. Oh, yes, you are right, sir, yes, sir. Thank you, sir, absolutely, sir. Please transfer the money, sir. Thank you so much, sir, yes, sir. Will deliver straight away, sir. Of course, it will take longer, but anyways, promises, false promises, untruth, and again, filters, filters, filters all day. Filter as much as we can. Oh. Then come home, take a shower, wash it off if you can. Maybe a few mantras, just and some prasadam, just something transcendental, something pure. So how nice are these moments of direct, pure, undiluted Krishna consciousness? Those are the ones that nourish us. Those are the ones that make us alive, and everything else is killing us. Sometimes we're killing ourselves. Oh yes, I like this killing, I love this killing too much. But I have seen the craziest things in my life. Once I saw in a bar, there was one bottle with alcohol and a snake, a dead snake in there. And that was the special drink for the in-crowd. I never drank it, but just actually in case you get some doubts. But I saw people drinking. Crazy, crazy things. Why do people do crazy things? Because other people do crazy things, and the crazy people don't want to do crazy things alone. No one wants to go to hell alone. Here you go. Have a drink. Come along. Let's go together. So all this rubbish is there. So the Bhagavad Gita is our sacred space. We can always turn to the Bhagavad Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam, and we just take these books and put them on the table. A book, open, right? Open on the table. And if need be, a big sign next to it, read me. Read me. Somehow or other, we don't need to read a lot. One verse a day is possible. How about a verse in a purport? First translation purport. One a day. Is it possible? Even if you can't read the whole day because you've been too busy with all kinds of rubbish. And just so much, read it. Imagine, the whole day. Then at night, could you, maybe before sleeping, Rajavidam, Rajagudam, Bhavivamidam, Uttamam, Pratyakshavagamam, Danyam, Susukam Kartama. This knowledge is the king of education, the most secret of all secrets. It's the purest knowledge. Because it gives direct perception of the self by realization. Now, that is an interesting point I want to ponder on a little bit. Direct perception of the self, because this is not some lofty book. So, oh yes, oh so nice, Bhagavad Gita, as it is, too much good. This book is very nice, we are appreciating, but we're not following it. Then it is not, that is only lip service. We're chanting the slokas, but we don't live by it. Then what is the point? No. Every word that we read, we have to implement in our life, put into practice. Try and hold on to it. Try to hold on to it. All right, Krishnadas Kaviraj Swami also says, Durgame Pakimendasya Skalat Padagate Muhuyat Kripasvastidhanena Santa Santavalambanam. My path is very difficult. My feet are slipping again and again. But by the stick of the mercy of the devotees for my support, I somehow or other stay on the path. All right, so that is there. Some individual weakness may be there. At the end of the 15th chapter in text number 20, which is the last verse, there's a nice purport which describes the Hridaya Durbalyam, the weakness of heart. And there's a fundamental weakness, fundamental elements of weakness of heart. That weakness of heart is deep within us. So what to do? This is something we're dealing with. But we will not be defeated. Prabhupada said, failure is the pillar of success. In other words, no matter whether we slip or not, we'll never stop. we'll never give up. We will not give up. Why not? Why not? Because we know that Krishna is unlimitedly merciful. And we know that Krishna will not reject us. So why would we give up? The chance is still there. It's not that, oh sinner, now thou hast sinned and now thou shalt suffer. Right? Thou shalt suffer for 100,000 years, or maybe 2. And then I'll talk to you again. That's not Krishna. Krishna is understanding. Krishna understands. Krishna sighs. Oh, we are weak again, is it? Oh, what to do now? Slipping up again. Oh. Anyhow, just try again. Try again. You can do it. You can. It's a matter of taking shelter. It's not a matter of result. Maybe, what was the mistake? What was the mistake? Why did you slip? Why? What was the mistake? Well, the phone. Okay, the phone. So let's put the phone down. All these phones. God, the phone. I'll film the lecture so they can look at it later, so they can't look at it now. Now, but later I can look at it many times. No, you can't, because there's so many other movies on Facebook and this, that to look at, No time. Where's the time? Do you also have gigabytes? Gigabytes of lectures and gigabytes of books and gigabytes of material that you never read and never look at? Do you also have? Somehow or other, that's what happens, These things, they slurp things up, but they never come out. Oh, well, anyhow, what to do? Doesn't matter. Back to the point. So when we slip, we can look, what was the fault? What distracted us? Some neglect came first. Some disrespect came first. It's not that the slip comes on its own first. No. There were preceding activities which led up to it. So when we slip, then time to reflect. Why? Why did this happen? What did I do or not do that led up to this? All right, I was proud. There you go. Bow down, Mr. or Madam. Bow down. That's the next thing. Take a humble position. That's the beginning. I was sort of not giving much attention to sadhana. It was just too difficult. Yes, I know. Sometimes you're on top of the elephant and sometimes the elephant is on top of you. What to do? That's called life. But we try to climb back on. And that is the point. Knowing that Krishna is very merciful. Krishna is waiting. Krishna will make arrangements. So Krishna goes, okay, you went off into the woods. You went off into the woods. Someone just wrote to me, said they went off into the woods a little bit, and then somehow or other, they went to some remote family member who, to surprise them, had learned to sing Hare Krishna on guitar. And where that all came from, they had no idea. Suddenly there's this family member playing Hare Krishna on a guitar. It goes like, where did that come from? In the beginning in Krishna consciousness, I also sometimes thought that it was okay to take a vacation. So I took a vacation and I went to the movies, and then Hare Krishna was in the movie. Spoiled my vacation, But what to do? So we're not alone. We're not alone. It's not us and this difficult process. We have to somehow or other follow this difficult process of Krishna consciousness. No, Krishna is there. Every step of the way, Krishna is trying to help us every step of the way. He's sending us messages, he's sending us messengers, he's just somehow or other there all the time in the midst of all the illusion. And he's ready to forgive. All right, you blew it. Anyway, try again. So I will not get into the detail, but I will reiterate my point one time. If before we slip, something went wrong, and if we slip, let us reflect for a while what it was. And then correct it. Then our failure becomes the pillar of success. Because we learn from our mistake and say, no, that I will not do again. And in this way, Prabhupada's saying failure is the pillar of success is relevant and very important. So here we're beginning to speak about perception of the self by realization. We're beginning to see the standard given in the scriptures and where we are and the gap between the two. And how we can overcome that gap slowly. And that we should work on this and just build up spiritual strength. Spiritual life is not about New Year's resolutions. Spiritual life is not about determination. Are you determined? Yes. I see. Are you fired up? Yeah. Or if you are fired up, then the next day you can ask, are you burnt out? So all these things may occur, yes. But it's not about that. It's not about that. It is about taking shelter. And it is about constructing a spiritual life. It's not, now I'm going to be Krishna conscious, and I really tried. No, I really tried. I tried so hard. You won't believe how much I tried. And it just didn't work. What can I do? It just didn't work. No, we have to construct a spiritual life by putting a regular devotional service in place. Yes, early rising, put that in place. Good. Then you have those early mornings, no phone. Chant, good, put that in place. Right? Read something. One verse, one purport. Everybody can read the news. Right? So don't read the news, read the Bhagavatam. Right? And then, those you can read later at work, you know, what else is work for? So that's enough time for that. Then we just simply put in Krishna. But not just put in Krishna. Put in regular service to Krishna. If you have an altar in your house in the morning, clean it a little bit. Just clean it. If you have no time for a puja and an arti, light some incense. Possible? Just light some incense every day. Can it be done? Just some incense, light it. You may say, well, we have a sprinkler system at home. Okay. No problem. No problem. All right. Smoke detectors. Then, offer a flower then. So yeah, that's okay, but this is Joburg. There are no flowers. It's really dry here. All right, a leaf, March. We don't have leaves. Okay, a stone, something from the desert, I mean, this place is so dry. Gosh, I can't believe it. The Sahara Desert is coming, I'm quite sure. Sorry about that. But anyway, what to do? So somehow or other, do something. Do something. A little thing, but do it every day. A little. Doesn't have to be, we are doing, like someone comes to me and says, oh, I have a problem with my rounds, we have to do every day the worship of the deity and it takes us 1.5 hours. I go, what? 1.5 hours and you cannot chant, then what is the value of your puja if you are not chanting? What is the value? Are you steeped in ancient tradition? Have you not absorbed the message? Have you not absorbed the message even of Krishna? Te samsara yuktanam bhajatam piti purvakam. Have you not absorbed the point that constantly we must glorify Krishna? That kirtanam is the yuga dharma. Have you not understood? Kalu tathari kirtanat. Dvaparaya paricharyayo. In Dvapara Yuga, yes, deity worship is the main process. In Kali Yuga, it is kirtan supported by deity worship. So let your deity worship be simple. Chant. 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 Can't. Prabhupada's favorite cartoon. Yes, so what to do? So in this way, we can, and we do it, and we realize, we meet ourselves. In the Nectar of Devotion, Srila Prabhupada explains, he says, as you cannot see yourself without the light of the sun. If there's no sun, no light of the sun, in the dark, we can't see ourselves. Can't see my own hand. In the same way, one cannot know himself without Krishna. So that is very profound. We cannot know ourselves without Krishna. Now, see, who are we? Who am I? That is a good question. Who am I? Who am I? Let's think about that for a moment. Well, I am not in a constant state of consciousness. It's always changing. Always. How are you? Are you okay? Are you okay now? Are you okay? I'll ask you again in 5 minutes to see if you're still okay. Are you fine? No, are you sure? Yeah. You're okay? He says yes. So, okay. You're okay as well? Good. Are you okay? He's okay. Everybody's okay. I can't believe it. Anyway, the point is that consciousness is always changing. So who are we? Who are we? We're always changing. We are not alone. We are always in relationship with. Always in relationship with something. In relationship, with Sandton. Today we're in relationship with Sandton. And whatever that means, some have a deeper relationship with Sandton. They are residents of Sandton. They have Sandton t-shirts and Sandton badges. They are Sandton devotees. Right? Yeah, like that. We are in relationship with upadhi. Designations, sarvupadi, all the designations. See, I don't need these glasses. I can see perfectly without them, but it just looks more scholarly. I try to keep up with the Joneses, So I just at one point decided to put on these glasses to cut a profile. And that's part of me. I am my glasses and my glasses is me. There's a particular style, like ultra lightweight, titanium, same as the dome of the TOVP. Oh yes. There is a connection, you could consider that. Whatever may be, so the point is, saffron, there are many varieties of saffron, and it is carefully chosen. I mean, matching socks and like matching t-shirts, it's a whole thing, it's a science, really. It can go as far as matching shoes and matching hats and whatever it is, What to say? I can put kavacha here, or hang it on my beads. I can get radical neck beads, with the big leaves, the big wooden leaves around, like all of that. I can wear 3 kilos of neck beads, you know. I can certainly sport a little kirtan scarf, even if you choke in the summer. You know. It doesn't matter, you know. I'm gonna keep that scarf, you know. I will leave a trace of water behind me, but I'll never take it off. No way. Because it's all part of the image, if you know what I mean. And everybody has one, whatever it is. So these are the upadhis, the external things that determine our identity. So we're never alone. Never alone. You know, we are the clothes we wear. You know. Never alone. All these things, the place where we sit, the attributes we have, the relationships we have with things and people, these determine who we are. But in all these relationships, there is madness. Nunam pramate kurute yat indriya pritya apninoti. Because in all these relationships, they are sensual relationships. It's between the senses that we relate to all these things, and they are filled with madness, Bhagavatam says. Nunam pramate yat indriya pritya apninoti. Pramate means completely mad. So, seriously mad. Only when Krishna is there, then we come to a normal state of being. Therefore, we've never known ourselves. All this time we have just been influenced by false things. And we've played a role accordingly. And all these false things have captured us and have taken our consciousness here and there and everywhere. But when we strengthen the connection with Krishna, we actually meet ourselves. That is really what it means. It gives direct perception of the self by realization. It is the perfection of religion. So many religions. So many religions. We fast every Monday. Every Monday. Yes. So whatever we do, you know, we go in the forest and we are performing rituals. We are performing austerities. Or, you know, money, that is my religion. Cash, gold, money talks. All the, whatever our beliefs are, they are all covered with fault. Also covered. All religion also covered with ignorance. Only pure devotional service is actually a true relationship with the spiritual reality. That is this knowledge of the Bhagavad Gita. And whatever we do in relation to this, it is everlasting. The result is eternal for a change. We work so hard for what? For nothing. You get a little money and before you know it's gone. It's already spent before you got it. Already so many payments you have, you know, as soon as you get it, boom, it's gone. And the rest that's left, they'll take it away from you very quickly. That's it. Gone again. So work so hard for what? For temporary things. But whatever we do here is eternal. So let us do more for the eternal than for the material. How? I don't know. That is the puzzle. That's the puzzle we are all trying to solve. I was just the other day looking at puzzles and I saw puzzles with 24 pieces, puzzles with 50 pieces, and puzzles with 300 pieces, and the 300 pieces puzzles looked bad. And I hear there are puzzles with 1,000 pieces, and I think I would just eat it or something like that. I mean, it's too much. It's too much. Even 300 was sort of say, well, you know, this one goes in the garbage. But the real puzzle is to somehow or other get more of the internal in our life than of the temporary. How you do it? You figure it out. You gotta do something yourself. Oh, you can ask your guru and you know, but you are not your guru. Your life is not like your guru's life. Guru can tell you a principle, but then how to put it in practice. Everyone sits in a different place. Everyone is in a different situation. Everyone has different karma. So somehow or other, in the middle of our karma, more than half for the eternal. More than half. Then you're healthy. Otherwise, you're diseased. Otherwise, basically, you're in a bad state of spiritual health. When more than half is for temporary things, I would say spiritually weak, spiritually diseased arrangement. You know, not like a strong spiritual support arrangement. Reconstruct. Right? Simply start again. Change your life, in other words. Rebuild a new life. So that more than half is dedicated to Krishna. Of course, I can say this and everyone say, yeah, rebuild your life, and goes home and life is just the same as it always was. Yesterday I was remembering a Chinese proverb, and it said, I went to sleep and I dreamt 1,000 new paths. I woke up and I walked the old one. So, okay. But anyway, I've tried to explain this message of the Gita. And you know, I have explained how it is the king of all knowledge, the king of education, the most secret of all secrets, that which nobody knows, only few people. It's the purest knowledge, unadulterated, no filters. You can just take it as it is. And because it gives direct perception of the self, it's the perfection of all religious activity. Then it is everlasting, and finally, it is joyfully performed. The more we get into it, the more joyful it becomes. The more we get into this Krishna consciousness, the more we actually give it our energy, our time. Prana artha diya vacha. Prana means our energy, artha means our wealth, our investments. Diya means our intelligence, and vacha means our words. Prana artha diya vacha. Our energy, our possessions, our intelligence, our words. Connect them with Krishna. And the more we do so, the more joyful it becomes. Hey, this is actually fun. Hey. It's like you actually decorate an altar. It's actually fun. You actually have a kirtan, and instead of standing like a piece of wood, you actually, you know, you move. It's like, you move. You can begin like a tree swaying the branches. And even the roots can move, you know, like pull them out of the ground, lift that leg, and lift that leg, and on the right, and lift that leg, on the left, and lift, and take a step forward, and take a step backward, and spin around, and actually it's fun. No, it is fun, really, you know, and you're looking at each other, you know, like spinning around, someone with a big belly spinning around. There is fun in that. The exchange, the together with other people, and the energy of others, you know. The drummers are beating the drum, and I beat the drummers. And in this way, the kirtan takes off. Whatever may be. So, somehow or other, that exchange in kirtan, that exchange when we cook a feast, then let it be a feast. Let it be something extraordinary. Let it be not like, the same old thing. And what are we having this week? Oh yeah, we had that last week also. And it's like, and the week before that actually, and actually the last 6 months. No, let it be exciting. So like, wow, what is that? I remember Bibi Govinda Maharaj had personally cooked the feast, and at the end he came with like green sweet balls, green. It was like coated in pistachio powder. And then and then what was it? So he forced us, personally, he comes, take, two, take. And sort of, with some he pops it in the mouth as well, because the Swami, open your mouth, pop it in. And you know what it was? They were butter balls with sugar. Oh my God, pure butter balls with powdered sugar rolled in pistachio powder. You eat that, that's a bomb. It's a bomb. If you eat that at the end of a meal, you sort of feel a boom, He got us again. I used to be temple president, and Bibi Govinda Maharaj was in charge of Food for Life. And sometimes he would cook the feast. And he would use a whole month of geese in one feast. A whole month, serious. I would hide the ghee, That's a lot of money. Somebody would do is take the ghee, pure ghee, right? Throw in some spice, lots of hing, and then a few cashews until they're almost golden brown, and then a few green leaves, a few, just to sort of make it green, and then lots of cream, right? And this he called, and then lots of paneer, and this is palak paneer, There was like, you'd have to count the leaves of spinach in there, you know what I mean? You have to count the spinach. Everything is just ghee and cream and cashews and that was just the sabji. So you survive the sabji. At the end come the green balls. But it was exciting. It was different. I never had green balls before. I'll probably never have green balls again after that. But I can tell you one thing. I can at least tell you. I've had green balls. And with that, I have lived, right? And you, if you've never had a green ball, right? If you've never had a green ball from Bibi Govinda Swami's hand, I tell you, you have not really lived as yet. So you two, next time Maharaj is here, you should all go, green ball. We want green balls. Yeah. Yes, it's an experience, believe me. It's something you'll never forget. I still remember that. Anyhow, so it's joyfully performed. It is not dry, it is not stale, it is not the same old emptiness, the same old boring routine. When I grew up in the Netherlands, that was after the Second World War, and things were destroyed from the war, and they were slowly building it up. And there was one Dutch writer, he wrote one book. It was called The Evenings, I remember. And the book was about grey people who lived in grey houses, in grey streets, wearing grey clothes, living grey lives, doing grey work, and everything. And even the cover of the book was grey. It was totally grey. It was just such a grey book, there was nothing. The only color in that book was grey, and it didn't change. And you just read. I don't think I ever finished it. It was that grey. Oh gosh! But I got the point, And so this Krishna consciousness is most colorful. Because here we're going to do things that we would have never done. Things we have not been educated for. Oh no. It's not that you study and get a degree and then you work according to your degree for the next 35 years, and after that, you can retire and in a complex with other people who used to do the same work as you do. It's not like that. It's an adventure. Surrender. Surrender means anything is possible. Are you ready to surrender? Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? R-E-A-D. Ready? Yeah? Sure. Can't hear you. He said yes. In front of the deities, in front of all the devotees, in front of everyone. I tricked him. Now what to do? Don't worry, Krishna will help. So like this, somehow or other, when Prabhupada was in Bombay, at the time Bombay, one of the devotees said, "Oh, I don't like India." Prabhupada said, "Oh, you don't like India? Why?" He said, "Because I don't like Indians." Prabhupada said, "You don't like Indians?" He said, "No, I don't like Indians because they are very tricky. They're very tricky." And then he said, "No, but not you, Prabhupada." Prabhupada said, "Well, I am very tricky. I tricked you all into Krishna consciousness." So yes, somehow or other, let us be tricky and trick other people into Krishna consciousness. And that's the game. That's the game we play. It's a good game. Try it out. Trick others into Krishna consciousness. It's fun. Even when they don't want it. 007 is in town. Back to James. It's really to put some maha water. Somehow or other, somehow or other, let us trick people into Krishna consciousness. This is the greatest fun. Nobody knows. This is our secret. We're doing it, and nobody knows we're doing it. And we do it with each other as well. Then it will be exciting and fun. So, with this, I've tried to explain a verse from the Bhagavad Gita as it is. That Bhagavad Gita that we can trust. And in this way, let's make it more part of our life. Every day, one verse, one purport, at least. It's not too much. Small thing, but it's powerful. And if you like it on your phone, there's a great app from the BBT, a Bhagavad Gita app. It's super cool. You can get it. Check it out. I've got it. So any questions, any comments? Yes. The king of knowledge being accessed by the Maha Mantra. Yes. The Maha Mantra is so potent that it awakens the soul. Because the Maha Mantra is Krishna. And the knowledge, full knowledge, is there within the heart. So therefore the Maha Mantra awakens transcendental knowledge. So if we could only chant the Maha Mantra, and only after that, and still keep on chanting, then we would not even need to read the Bhagavad Gita. It wouldn't be required. We could get all the knowledge from the chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. But because after a little while of chanting, the mind kicks in. And the mind goes, oh, how long are we going to do this? Are we going to do something else? Boring, time for change. Can we look at something else, TV, or read something, eat something, hungry maybe? So the mind comes up with endless distractions. So we need to do other things. Then, Bhagavad Gita is there. And we read the Bhagavad Gita. But we must engage in devotional service. Manmana bhava bhakto majajimam namaskaro, bow down unto me, render service unto me. That is Bhagavad Gita. So we need to render service, and service is Sravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanivedanam, ninefold process of devotional service, hearing, chanting, remembering, serving the deity, serving the lotus feet, offering prayers, all these things. So chant, and of all the devotional activities, Rupa Goswami says, chanting is the foremost. Therefore, without chanting, we will never get the full purport of the Bhagavad Gita. Just reading the Gita alone in this age of Kali will not suffice. We will not get the full meaning of the Gita. Only by chanting and then living our life according to the Gita will we understand the full purport of the Gita. So your point is correct. The chanting will actually help us to understand the purport of the Gita. Will open up the Gita to us. But reading is also giving us an impetus to chant. The more we find out about Krishna, if I have to chant the name of Krishna, the more I find out about Krishna, the more I become inspired. So the reading of the Gita gives us inspiration to chant. Therefore, Sravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam. Hearing, chanting, and remembering. Hearing includes reading. So hearing, chanting, and remembering. We hear, it inspires us. We chant, then we remember Krishna. And then we get more taste to read and more taste to chant. So Sravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam. These three, they go together. Hearing leads to chanting. Chanting to remembering. Remembering to more chanting, to more hearing. Like that. Hearing, chanting, remembering. Sravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam. These three things are the main things of our spiritual life. Yes?
Is Krishna consciousness more internal than external?
Is Krishna consciousness more internal than external? Krishna consciousness, it eliminates the boundary between internal and external. The external becomes internal, and the internal becomes external, in the sense that whatever we do with the material energy, if that's external, is only connected to Krishna, and in this way full of internal meaning, because everything we do is adding to the glorification of Krishna. So it is the biggest internal experience of ecstasy. Then that ecstasy is just bubbling inside of us, and it just burst out. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, it just burst out, and he danced exuberantly, which is external. Therefore, the boundary between internal and external is no longer there. Krishna everywhere. Bahir Nisimo, Hridaye Nisingo. Nrsinga is inside, Nrsinga is outside. He is in the internal, in the heart, and he is in the external. We're singing every day. Bahir Nisingo, Hridaye Nisingo. There's shelter, either in the external or in the Nrsingadev in the heart, Nrsingadev outside. Everywhere is Nrsingadev. So internal and external, at one point, makes no more difference. It's always connected to Krishna with the same intensity. You see, Srila Prabhupada was the one who pushed this movement. I think by now everyone has seen the Prabhupada movie, and you've seen also how at one point it got really dynamic and started to spread everywhere. Some might say that was external, that's the external Prabhupada. No, that was Prabhupada's ecstasy That was his love of God, right there in front of us on the screen. What you saw there, the Prabhupada movie, you saw Prabhupada's love of God on the screen. That's what you saw. It was completely internal. Next question. Yes.
How do we judge between, well, not between, but you said halfway karma, at least halfway. How do we gauge that?
I said at least more than half for the eternal, right? Yeah. How do we gauge that? How do we measure that? Well, yeah, if you try to cut it very fine, you say, okay, then I'll do more than half, it's a millimeter over the borderline. But that's when it gets difficult, right? It should become obvious that really the majority of our time, our priority is Krishna. So all these other things we do, but really, it's our devotee identity that is really what it's about, not our professional identity, not our public fame, nothing. It's just the relationship with Krishna. I remember one devotee who was very active, a leader, doing so many things, and then said, Vrindavan, what will I do in Vrindavan? There's nothing to do in Vrindavan. Yes, there is nothing to do in Vrindavan. You don't have to go to work. You don't have any responsibilities. Your home is not there. The cat didn't come. You don't have to do anything. There's what to do in Vrindavan. Search out Krishna. Follow in the footsteps of the Goswamis who are looking for Krishna. How to look for Krishna? Chant, serve, go to holy places, look for Krishna. Nothing else to do, look for Krishna. So make sure there's more time looking for Krishna. Maya didn't agree.
So would that also include, even if we can't physically, like you're just explaining now, we couldn't physically be engaged in the actions. I'm sitting in work or class, I can't physically talk about Krishna, but I'm rather thinking about.
Yeah, well, I mean, physically, when we're physically in work or in studying in a class, we cannot think about Krishna. Or should we internally think about Krishna? Not always possible. Sometimes you got to actually pay attention when you're studying or working. You know, I mean, when you're driving, for example, it's good to not put too much attention to just Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. You know. No, keep your eyes on the road. You know, and again, what are you doing? You know, I am meditating on Krishna. Krishna is black, so is the road. Keep your eyes on the road, you know. And Balaram's white, look at the white lines. But where are we driving? Where are we driving? Is it related to Krishna? Well, we're going shopping. Okay, what are you buying? Are you going to use it for Krishna? Is it somehow or other building up your spiritual life? Or are you going to buy rubbish? If you're going to buy rubbish, then your whole drive is rubbish as well. And everything connected to what you were buying is rubbish. The idea was rubbish. It was rubbish that you got in the car. It was rubbish while you were driving. And when you got in the shopping mall, you bought only rubbish. Yeah? Like that. But if it's from the beginning, say, hey, we're going to go to the mall and then buy something, and we'll use it to build up a Krishna conscious atmosphere in our life. Cool. Then the drive is KC, and whatever you buy is Krishna conscious as well. And then the result will be home, sweet home, for Krishna. So everything is part of building our spiritual life. So it cannot always be directly Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. You keep your eyes on the road. But at the same time, it's part of building a Krishna conscious life. So your mundane job, where you have to really concentrate, use the money to build a Krishna conscious life. Then, put more weight on the Krishna side. And if there's doubt, put some more weight on the Krishna side. Yes?
Krishna Raj, thank you for the class. With regards to a straitjacket on Krishna consciousness, I was just having a conversation with a friend the other day, and she had a rash of some sort. And I just said to her, sort of just chant the Maha Mantra. Now, is that being naive? Because she thought, I was sort of being, I guess, naive to the whole point. But then, is that like her response? Is that a restriction on Krishna consciousness, or on her beliefs?
Well, it's very advanced to take that approach. I'll repeat, his point was someone had a rash and a friend, and then he advised, just chant Hare Krishna, which is, a good advice, but a very advanced advice also. If you are completely Mahabhagavat, if you are completely topmost devotee, you can do that. Whatever is the problem, just chant Hare Krishna, and Krishna, scratch a little sometimes, maybe. Otherwise, you could put some ointment or some oil or and chant Hare Krishna at the same time if you're not so advanced. So for us, ordinary mortals who are a bit attached to our bodies and who really feel disturbed when we have a rash, and it may be good to get some medicine and do something about it. I actually had a rash last night, and I'm putting oil all the time. It's Ayurvedic approach, lots of oil on my leg. Suddenly out of nowhere, never had one, just was there. I've been putting oil all the time, and chanting Hare Krishna, but trying not to scratch, oil. So tell your friends, okay. Of course, this is a little bit high, so you can put some medicine, but chant Hare Krishna as well.
I want to know if Krishna is a Vaishya or a Kshatriya.
Krishna acts externally like that, but Krishna is sarvopari vinyamuktam. Krishna is never controlled by these things. He only externally follows that, sometimes. And he breaks it also, the dharma of the Kshatriya, the dharma of the Vaishya. Krishna is always transcendental. Now he had a follow-up on this question, yes?
Just with regards to, enthusiasm in service.
With regards to enthusiasm in service.
So specifically with enthusiasm now, according to my understanding, enthusiasm is almost a emotion which also comes from like a sort of thing of passion.
Enthusiasm is like an emotion which seems to relate to passion.
Yeah. So, if I'm going to enthusiastically try to do devotional service, and then the result of that is sort of get pleasing the devotees now, am I still not sort of focusing on the fruitive result of it? Because
if he's enthusiastically engaging in devotional service, trying to please the devotees, then how about getting attached to the fruitive results? How about that? Now, karmani vedikaraste ma falisi kadachanam karma fali tibulamaste samvista karmani. We can take the activities and do all the activities, but we offer the results to Krishna. Then no reaction. So, you can drive a Ferrari for Krishna. Ferrari. 300 km an hour. And enjoy it. why you're doing it, and be a little scared also. At least I would be quite scared at 300 Ks. And but the result is for Krishna. However, some attachment may creep in, and we may tell ourselves, I'm doing this for Krishna, but actually we're doing it for ourselves. So there is a risk. That is why some people take sannyas. Say, better safe than sorry. Yeah. And so, at one point in your life, you can think about that. Better safe than sorry. I can be very serious. If you're very serious, and you start thinking about it today, of becoming qualified, then many years from now, you can take sannyas. That might be a good idea. Think about it. Yes?
When we actually conquer the mind,
When we actually conquer the mind.
like seriously, that when we seriously actually living.
Is that when we're actually living seriously? Yes, when we engage the mind in the service of Krishna, then it's conquered. It's not by personal power that we conquer the mind. I have now said no to the senses. It's not about saying no, it's about saying yes. Yes, Krishna, I use my senses for you. Yes, Krishna. Take all my senses, Krishna. They're yours, for your service. Then they're conquered. Krishna conquers our senses. Not that we conquer our senses. I've conquered my senses. All right, very good. Let Krishna conquer your senses by serving him with all the senses. That is our process. I think this is the end. It feels like the end of the talk. That's a good end. Let us offer our senses to Krishna, and in this way, then you become like Prabhupada was, and when there was that poster that Prabhupada printed when he first came to America, and on that poster he stood like it was a full-length poster with a danda, and his mouth, the corners of his mouth were down. And Yadurani, she was the first lady that joined the Hare Krishna movement when there was only one woman in the Hare Krishna movement. And she was a painter. So she looked at the picture like a painter. So she immediately saw, the corners of the mouth are really down. So she said, you must have been very sad at that time. And Prabhupada said, no, that was a moment of greatest ecstasy. So the seriousness of a devotee is full of ecstasy. How can we understand? It can only be when Krishna has conquered, and when one lives in that relationship. Krishna has conquered every part of my life. Every millimeter, Krishna has conquered. Not every inch, every millimeter, every micro millimeter.